Hi everyone and welcome to another video. Today's video is all about the Japanese maple cultivars we have in the garden. I will walk you through a lot of them, not all of them because we have too many. And I will try to do like the same round or similar round as I did on my first Japanese maple cultivar video in autumn time. In autumn the leaves were already gone and so you could see the branch structure. And I said at that time and several times actually after that I will do a video also during the growing season so you can see the foliage on the maples. And we're getting started right here. Those two actually you haven't seen in the autumn video. This red one here and the larger one behind me are palmatum Atropurpureum, so they stay red all year long. And you can see the overall picture, the overall color is like a deep red, almost a purple red. Looking at the larger one and towards the sun, you see that the leaves appear a little bit brownish, kind of a maroon color depending on how the sun is coming in, which is very nice. And you also see that the growing habit is rather upright and growing wider at the top. So it's a really beautiful maple. Let's have a closer look at the leaves. The leaves are fairly large. You can see compared to my hands, they have 5 to 7 lobes. And on the underside underneath, you see they're completely green. So this is normal. And the Atropurpureum type has a very good red color throughout the year. However, if it's grown in shade or the leaves that are shaded out, you can see underneath here, they stay rather green. So the red color development depends on how much sun the leaves get. And you can see everything in the sun is red and everything shaded out stays green. Also this, how much green there is and how intensive the red is varies a little bit throughout the year. And also it's not the same every year, depends on the weather and the climate and so on. So that's those two, Acer, palmatum, Atropurpureum. Let's go to the next ones now. This one here is the shirasawanum Jordan, a beautiful cultivar. And normally during the summer it is light green. This year for the first time it stayed actually a little bit red or brownish. The leaves when they're coming out do have a brownish kind of color or pinkish, it depends. And then they turn green normally. And this year you can see the color, the brownish color remains a little bit. So the shirasawanum group has typically 7 to 9 lobes. For those who are not familiar, lobes are the divisions on the leaf. So on this one, if you count, this one has 9 divisions or 9 lobes. And shirasawanum leaves are typically wider and a bit larger because of the amount of lobes they have. So it's a really beautiful cultivar. Also the shape of the maple is a very graceful light shape. And also here you can see, whilst we're filming a close-up, that seeds are developing. So how many seeds develop, I observe on our maples, is different every year. This year everything is growing so much, and many maples that usually have only a couple of seeds really have loads of seeds this year, which is really nice. So that's this one here, the Jordan cultivar. Now behind we have 2 Aureum cultivars. They are not shirasawanum though, they are palmatum Aureum. So the difference is that the palmatum has, I would say, the standard Japanese maple leaves, so smaller leaves with 7 or 5 to 7 lobes, so divisions on the leaves, and not like the shirasawanum, a larger leaf. So also this one here is a little different this year regarding the color. Normally the Aureum comes out in this yellowish greenish color and then stays actually in this lighter green. This year you can see on this one that the color is completely fading and some of the leaves almost get scorched a little bit. This is interesting because it's not that far into the summer yet and it hasn't been that hot. It is hot, but it's not extremely hot. But this is happening this year. I see it on all the Aureums we have, also on the big one, that the leaves are getting a bit scorched and are, you see, almost they look like bleached almost this year. It's interesting, we didn't have that last year. But for those that are, you see, not exposed to the sun so much, I'll show you here. So you can see this is the color they normally have. So it's a lighter green color. Very beautiful cultivar as well. Now let's move to the next two, which are right down there. And here we have the Mikasa yama. This is a sieboldianum group maple. It's the only one of that group we have. And this Mikasa yama is grown from seed. So this was not cultivated or propagated as they do usually with cultivars by cutting. This is grown from seed. And this one has 5 lobes, some have 7. Normally this is supposed to have 7 lobes. And this is the one, if you remember from the other video, that has this beautiful yellow color in autumn. And in summer, you can see this is the summer color. It's a mid-tone, a lighter green really. Very beautiful. And this one here grows rather to the side, which fits perfectly for the position it has. So I really love this one. Very nice cultivar as well. And then you see some bamboo is growing through here, not supposed to. Here we have the next cultivar, which is the Seiryu. So this is from the Dissectum group. That means the leaves are really completely sliced. So this is just a very deep division of the lobes and subdivisions. And the Seiryu is the only cultivar of that Dissectum group that has an upright growth. So it grows like a normal maple, has a beautiful shape, and does not weep like the Dissectum maples normally do. So this is really nice. Has beautiful autumn color ranging from yellow, orange, red, and then in summer it has also this green color throughout. So really nice, and it gives a very light feel because the leaves of the Seiryu are smaller than the typical Dissectum leaves, and because of its upright growth and the deeply dissected leaves, it gives a very light, feathery look really. Really beautiful. So down in this area we have a few maples I want to show you. We have 2 palmatums and this one here right behind me. So let's have a look at this one first. This one is a Greenthumb North Carolina Red, quite a long cultivar name. And you see how it grows. It's a very graceful growing habit. So it weeps slightly and it's a very light kind of picture. This one is a maple that is red throughout the year, but because of the position here, which is more shade than sun, you can see that the leaves stay a bit more greenish. So also for this cultivar, the more sun, the more red the leaves will be. Very beautiful. Next, let's go to this one here. This is a palmatum, so there's no specific cultivar. It has also a beautiful way of growing. This is different, of course, for every maple. And it has these nice medium-sized green leaves. This is rather a darker green for this cultivar. Really nice. The autumn colors for this one are yellow, orange and red, depending on the sun it gets. And it's a little bit different every year. So that's just a palmatum. And the other palmatum is down here. This is pretty much our biggest one. You see this one here. And this is also just a palmatum, so no cultivar, no specific one. And this one used to have a disease, I think, when we got it. And actually about 1/3 of it died off some years ago. But then it came back and look how big it is. It grows so much every year, especially this year. It has become really, really huge. So it's already starting to grow into the plants next to it, which is fantastic. So also very nice cultivar. This one has slightly smaller leaves. but the typical palmatum leaf shape with a 5 to 7 divisions on the leaves. Very nice. And then one more, just in case you're wondering, this one here is not a Japanese maple, this is a Norway maple. That's the only non-Japanese maple we grow in the garden because of the size. And this one also has red leaves, but because it's more shaded out, the leaves, they're a little bit more green. And it grows very fast. It is already so tall. It was nowhere near that tall when we planted it a few years ago. Also a very nice maple for the garden. Good, then let's move to the next one, which is the Orange Dream. This is the Orange Dream cultivar. This is a very popular cultivar and we have a few of those. And it's really a very beautiful maple. You can see looking at the overall picture that it has a more bushy and more dense and compact growing habit, at least the ones we have. So this depends a little bit on the nursery and how they're grown and what the rootstock maple is, how they look. So this will not be exactly the same everywhere for every cultivar. So here looking at the leaves, they have a normal palmatum leaf size really. So it's not overly big and not overly small. And they have 5 to 7 lobes or divisions on the leaves. And the new growth, I'll show you on these two branches here, has a yellow-orange color. So this is how it's coming out also in spring. I think I showed you that one in the on the spring garden tour, I think it was this year, how orange it is when the new growth is coming out. And throughout the year, this is how it looks. This one here is the Sango kaku, or also called coral bark maple. And the name comes from the fact that the bark colors or gets a pink kind of color during the winter. It does not have that during the summer. And during the summer you can only see that the where the leaves are attached here, this has this reddish or pinkish color. The actual trunks or branches you see go back to like a brownish color during the summer. The leaves have a typical palmatum leaf size, and it's a very nice growing cultivar. You see, grows rather upright and apart, and it gives really a beautiful addition to the garden. So next we have a couple of maples here. Let's start with this one here. This is a japonicum Aconitifolium. So this is a different group of Japanese maples which do not have the typical leaf size. They have rather large leaves, as you can see on this one here. So compared to my hand, you see the leaves is quite big. A very nice compact growing cultivar. We pruned that one last year in a video. It has grown out so much again. So you almost wouldn't see that it was pruned last year, so it needs to be done again this year. And it builds loads of seeds every year, also this year again. It's very nice, and the color is green, but it has a touch of yellow, as you can see. The next one here is this one here. So this is a cultivar of the Dissectum group. And with this one here, I'm not 100% sure that it is the Orangeola type of maple. It was not sold with the cultivar name, but from the description and how it looks and the color it gets during the year, it really fits best with an Orangeola. So this is what I think it is. And this is a perfect example that shows you the typical growing shape of a Dissectum group maple, which has this weeping or cascading type of growth. I've moved now to the other side so you can see the full picture of the maple and this beautiful dome shape this maple has. And the branches are growing down and to the side, so over time this type of maple will get wider, not necessarily taller. So you see there's a little bit of new growth sticking out, but the branches, as soon as they come out, they start to weep and bend down. Nothing is growing straight up. And this, over time, you'll have several layers of branches, and sometimes we thin that out. I did a pruning video on this one last year. And specifically for this cultivar, you see also underneath, the color remains more green than red. And this is again because the leaves underneath, so in the layers that are behind the top layer here, do not get that much sun. So also if this cultivar was grown in shade, it would be more green. The other leaves that are on top, they have mainly this red color. This one here is an emerald lace, another cultivar of the Dissectum group. Also very beautiful. This one is very low grafted. That means the main trunk is really low. So this is why it's not going to grow any taller. It just grows wider. And also this one we prune every year. And in summer you see the color is green. This year it has a little bit more red in it, which I've actually never seen on this one. It normally only turns bright red in autumn. Another cultivar of the Dissectum group is the Viridis cultivar, which is quite popular. It's also a beautiful maple that has this nice weeping shape, and the color now at this time of the year, it's early summer, turns into a deeper green. In spring the growth is more like a lighter green, so the fresh growth that is coming out, and then it turns into this nice color. This is another red-leafed cultivar, that's the Bloodgood cultivar, also very popular. And it has grown really, really tall. This was one of the first maples we planted in our plot. This cultivar has a very even shape, so it grows more like a smaller sized tree. And this one also holds its red color better than the Atropurpureum, which you have seen at the beginning. And if we have a close-up here in the sun, you see that the leaf color is even more or a deeper purple red than the other cultivar. Underneath they are also green, like the Atropurpureum, but this cultivar holds the red color best throughout the year. The last stop for this video is here at the sakazuki cultivar. It's a fantastic type of maple, quite popular I think in most parts of the world where this one is available. And it has larger leaves actually compared to the normal palmatum maples. You can see here, and it has this rich green color during the summer, and in autumn it turns into a bright red. This is absolutely incredible how different it looks in autumn. It also builds loads of seeds every year, and it grows where we have it here in our zone 6 quite a lot. So again, it will need pruning this year. We did it last year, but we'll need to redo it again. And this brings me to the end of the video. If you like the video, please give us a like and please subscribe to our channel. That really helps us out. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. I see you next time. Bye.